I'm going out there to attack. I'm going there to kill him. I'm not going out there to defend Khamzat's takedowns. Attacking, this game doesn't work by defense. You don't win fights by defending, you win fights by attacking. At the end of the day, I'm a complete MMA fighter, and that's why I'm the best in the world. I can strike with anyone, I can grapple with anyone, I can wrestle with anyone, but when it comes to putting it all together, I'm the best in the world.
Dricus Du Plessis has just issued a final knockout warning to Khamzat Chimaev ahead of their upcoming clash. On the other hand, Demetrius Johnson warned DDP and described Khamzat Chimaev as a relentless grappler who focuses entirely on dominating once he gains control. He explained that when Chimaev closes the distance, opponents must be fully prepared with strong wrestling defense and complete fighting skills. Chimaev works to secure his preferred position, patiently dismantles his opponent's base, switches sides, locks and hooks, and strikes until forcing a submission through a choke or crank. Johnson emphasized that Chimaev's style is built around constant wrestling rather than striking.
When you look at Khamzat, you have to look at him when he jumps on you, you better be ready for the best. You better have the best wrestling, anti-wrestling and fighting skill ready to rock and roll, because once he locks on, he's gonna be looking to go to that position, which I call it home. He's gonna sit there and wait, and then he's gonna, let's see what you're gonna do. Once you start the post, he's gonna take out that post. He takes out the post, he's gonna jump to the other side, take out the other post, get his hooks in, and beat you up until you give him your neck or neck crank, and he's gonna take it. That's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to do anything on the feet. If he could, he would wrestle all day, every day.
Michael Bisping acknowledged Khamzat Chimaev as a highly skilled fighter, but pointed out that his cardio could be a concern in a 5-round title fight. He noted that if Chimaev tires as early as the first round, it would be a serious problem, since Dricus Du Plessis is expected to apply constant pressure from the start. Bisping stressed that if Chimaev has not completed the necessary preparation, Du Plessis has a strong chance of retaining his championship.
He is a very special fighter. However, the cardio could be an issue. Khamzat Chimaev's got a 5-round title fight, and if he does get tired in the first round, as we know, it's going to be a problem, because Dricus is going to fight him hard from the opening bell. So if Khamzat Chimaev hasn't done all the necessary training, then Dricus Du Plessis will remain the champion.
However, Dricus Du Plessis predicted that a first round against Khamzat Chimaev would be filled with non-stop chaos, with both fighters sticking to their aggressive styles. He said he has no plans to focus on defending takedowns, instead aiming to attack from the start and put Chimaev under pressure immediately. His approach is to indicate the pace rather than allow Chimaev to control the fight with his grappling.
Like absolute chaos. If you look at my thoughts, it's going to be absolute chaos. I just think, I don't see him coming in with a different game plan, and me neither. I'm going out there to attack. I'm going there to kill him. I'm not going out there to defend Khamzat's takedowns.
DDP further pointed to Gilbert Burns' success through constant offense and Kamaru Usman's ability to counter by using his own wrestling as examples of how to challenge Chimaev effectively. Both fighters refused to be passive and forced Chimaev to work under pressure. Du Plessis emphasized that victories come from taking the initiative and attacking, not from staying on the defensive.
I'm not going out there to defend, I'm going there to attack. So I think it's going to look a little bit different. I mean, if you look at the Gilbert Burns fight, and the success he had with Khamzat, that's a very, very good. Even with the Usman fight, Usman was, people don't just go and defend against him. He was forced. Usman was forced to defend, and he did a great job. And then he started with his offensive wrestling and showing Khamzat that he's not the only one that can wrestle in there. I think that was a big key in that fight, which made it a very close fight. And then Gilbert Burns being an absolute animal, also not being scared of Khamzat wrestling and, going for it, attacking. This game doesn't work by defense. You don't win fights by defending, you win fights by attacking.
Moreover, Drucker Close said that if the fight does go beyond 2 rounds, he believes Dricus Du Plessis will win, but in the first or second round, he sees Khamzat Chimaev as a strong threat. He added that overall, he can picture Du Plessis coming out on top.
I think if it goes past 2 rounds, I think DDP is going to win. But anything, 1 to 2 rounds, Khamzat.
What do you think's more likely?
I could see DDP winning.
However, Dricus Du Plessis lastly said people underestimate his grappling because they have not seen much of it, recalling how Robert Whittaker took him down, but he quickly got up, reversed the position, and dominated on the ground with heavy elbows and a choke threat that he believes could have ended the fight if the round had continued. He emphasized that while his wrestling and grappling may be overlooked, he is a complete MMA fighter who can compete in every area and is the best in the world at putting all aspects together.
Do you think people are underestimating your grappling?
Absolutely. I think, I just don't think people have seen a lot of it. So it changes the game. I think if, Khamzat mentioned it, he said, Robert Whittaker took me down. He did. He got a good time takedown. I got up very easily. When Rob took me down, I got up with no problems, took him down, and I dominated him on the floor in a way where I was landing, I cut him, I was landing massive elbows. The threat of the choke was there the whole time, and the round ended. And I'm sure if that round didn't end at that stage, it would have been the end of the fight right there. But yeah, I guess people haven't seen too much of my grappling and wrestling that much. But at the end of the day, I'm a complete MMA fighter, and that's why I'm the best in the world. I can strike with anyone, I can grapple with anyone, I can wrestle with anyone. But when it comes to putting it all together, I'm the best in the world.
Furthermore, Jared Cannonier said Khamzat Chimaev will look to use his wrestling since every fight starts on the feet and avoiding a knockout is important. He believes that if Dricus Du Plessis can control his natural chaos, defend the takedowns, and apply pressure to an exhausted Chimaev, he can win. However, he added that if Chimaev's wrestling is successful early, the fight could end in the first round.
Khamzat is going to try to wrestle. He's going to utilize wrestling. One, you don't want to get knocked out, and every fight starts on the feet, but he's going to utilize his wrestling. So I think as long as DDP can harness that chaotic thing that he has, create some chaos and come out victorious, then he can either defend off his takedowns and then put pressure onto a exhausted Khamzat. Or Khamzat is successful and, we get a one-rounder or something like that.
Din Thomas said that while Khamzat Chimaev has shown toughness in the Gilbert Burns fight, it has not been seen often, and his performance against Kamaru Usman suggested he slowed down after winning early rounds. He explained that Dricus Du Plessis is known for finding another burst of energy late in fights, especially in the 5th round, where he refuses to let an opponent outwork him. Because of this proven endurance and determination, Thomas said he would favor Du Plessis if the fight goes into the later rounds.
See, I think that comes down to, well, we know that Khamzat has shown to be a dog against Gilbert Burns, so he did that. We haven't seen it often, but we know what it looks like if it gets late with DDP. So I still have to side with, if it's late, I still have to side with DDP, just because we know what he's going to do. We know he's not going to let another human being beat him in the 5th round, right? Like his 5th rounds are just, he really finds another burst of energy to win in the 5th round. So I'm not sure. We've seen it against Gilbert Burns, but we didn't see that with Kamaru Usman. Like, we saw him kind of go, yo, I won the first 2, so I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So
he slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, slowed down quite a bit. So I think if it does go late, I would still favor Dricus Du Plessis.
Yeah.
Sonnen pushed back against the idea that Dricus Du Plessis has already proven everything, saying that in a talent-packed middleweight scene, a dominant performance against Khamzat Chimaev could launch him into the pound-for-pound conversation. He suggested that such a result might see Du Plessis mentioned in the same breath as Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria, with a place among the sport's top 3 being well within reach.
Some people feel that Dricus has nothing to prove in this fight. I strongly disagree. I think that the pound-for-pound rankings, I think that Dricus is going to get Imanov, Kyle Brawl. When Izzy Adesanya is one of the guys just floating around, when Whittaker is one of the guys just floating around, it starts to show you how hard a division is, right? Sean Strickland hasn't gone anywhere, and I'm just saying, in a division that tough, I used to be the king of middleweight. I knew middleweights inside and out. Partner, they did not have 10 Anderson Silvas at middleweight, but they do now. And if Dricus can go out and look good and get the win over Chimaev, I just think that ranking he all of a sudden is going to be flirting with Islam's space and Ilya's space. He's going to be flirting with the top three. And I think that's the only way that we know how to compliment him in our industry. We give him a belt, we give him a main event, and then we give him a little bit more. And that top three placing pound for pound is very within reach right now for Dricus.
Brendan Schwab noted that although Khamzat Chimaev once struggled with cardio, his recent training suggests it is no longer a weakness. He warned that if Chimaev couldn't secure an early finish in fades, Dricus Du Plessis could stop him in the later rounds. Schwab is also interested in seeing how Dricus Du Plessis' grappling holds up, but pointed out that Chimaev has a history of dominating high-level wrestlers.
Obviously, cardio was an issue for him back in the day. I'm here to tell you now, I've personally, with these peepers, have seen the man train. Cardio is not an issue, but that's all predicated on, let's say Khamzat goes in there and tries to get DDP down in the first 2 rounds and can't get it done, and he gets tired. DDP in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th will finish him, you know? So I'm interested to see what Khamzat's game plan is. I'm also interested to see how good DDP's grappling is. I've heard training room stories where he's just this freak, but I've personally seen Khamzat beat world-class wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys. Like, toy with them.
Arman Tsarukyan expressed how much he values being part of Chimaev's team, saying he's happy to help in any way while learning from someone with such high-level skills. He praised Chimaev's powerful striking and elite wrestling, adding that when he watches Chimaev spar, the rounds tend to end quickly, often with a first-round finish.
It's very good to be on his team, you know, and to help him as much as possible, and to learn something new from him, because he's such a high-level fighter, and his striking is good, wrestling is good, you know. I watch his sparrings, and like, it's a finish in the first round.
Gilbert Burns predicted that Dricus Du Plessis would start fast with relentless pressure and could even score a takedown on Sean Strickland. He did not expect Du Plessis to be finished and believed he would push through any adversity. Renato Moicano favored Du Plessis to secure a late stoppage in the 3rd or 4th round, though he acknowledged that a decision victory was also a realistic outcome.
And look at the fight. That guy gets so freaking tired. He's that one speed fighter. He's gonna come like a freaking truck at you. I do believe he might take Dricus down. I don't think he's gonna get finished. I do believe Dricus is gonna fight through all that. Maybe a decision, but I do believe a late finish, 3rd to 4th round. That's my prediction.
Anthony Hernandez predicts that Dricus Du Plessis would surprise many people in the fight, describing him as a large, awkward opponent who constantly applies forward pressure and maintains his pace. He noted that Khamzat Chimaev has faced difficulties against smaller fighters before and has yet to fully prove himself, adding that putting Chimaev on the ground often creates trouble for him.
I think DDP is going to surprise the world, man. He's a big mother. He's awkward. He comes forward. He doesn't get tired. Khamzat gets tired with small guys that were 155ers, you know what I mean, that went up to 170. So I'm still not really sold on him. I know he's good. I know he can beat up Robert Whitaker. But like I said, the old is very one-dimensional. They only have one tool. If you can get them to the floor, it usually seems that they have a bad night. And that's just the honest truth of how I've seen it play out.
Rampage Jackson shared his view on the matchup, saying Khamzat Chimaev has consistently appeared dominant whenever he has seen him fight, which is why he's picking Chimaev to win. He predicted the bout would likely end in the 3rd round, believing that is when Chimaev would take control and finish the job.
Khamzat, he's always been a beast every time I've seen him fight, so I'm going to go with Khamzat. I think he's going to take it.
Which round?
I'm thinking around like the 3rd round. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Bilal Muhammad voiced clear support for Khamzat Chimaev while taking a jab at Dricus Du Plessis. Before the event in Chicago, he mockingly told Du Plessis not to reach out for food or training assistance and warned that he was not welcome in the city. He closed his remarks by openly backing Chimaev to win.
Also, heard Dricus in Chicago. Bro, this is my city. Big card next week. Huge main event. You need anything from Chicago, food, groceries, therapists, cage, gym, sauna. Make sure you don't hit me up. You're not welcome here. Chicago, you see him, you let him know. We don't like his kind. Go Khamzat.
Israel Adesanya shared his perspective from having faced both fighters, recognizing Khamzat Chimaev's constant pressure, but leaning toward Dricus Du Plessis if the fight goes long. He highlighted Du Plessis' stamina and his capacity to stay dangerous even when tired, noting this could be a key factor in the later rounds.
Not bad, but I still think Dricus gets it. I think just late finish, late finish. Khamzat would, I think Khamzat will, if he wins, it's the first 2 rounds, or the first round. But Dricus is just chaotic.
Khabib Nurmagomedov advised Khamzat Chimaev to sharpen his boxing, noting that he has the edge in speed and accuracy over Dricus Du Plessis. He acknowledged that Du Plessis' awkward, looping punches can be tricky, but also energy-consuming. Khabib cautioned that failing to act decisively could allow Du Plessis' unpredictable style to become a serious threat.
Я думаю, что мое личное мнение, я бы Хамзату посоветовал бы, чтобы он в стойке дрался с ним.
Но мне кажется, вот как будто вот его стиль такой, что с первых минут атаку. Как будто его надо придерживаться, нет, этого стиля?
Прикинь, если я делал бы, я бы посоветовал бы по-другому.
Да.
Вот чисто по боксу пустых, Хамзат лучше. Вот чисто по боксу. Это мое мнение. Просто здесь есть такой момент. Ты можешь сфорсировать события. Там раунд, 2. Но если ты его не финишируешь, ты очень много энергии потратишь. А потом надо в чемпионских боях.
Caio Borralho called the fight between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev difficult to predict, admitting that Du Plessis often proves people wrong. He acknowledged Chimaev's explosive style and power as major threats, saying an early finish would likely favor him. However, he felt that if the bout went the distance, Du Plessis could take over. While leaning slightly toward Chimaev, Borralho said another upset from Du Plessis would not surprise him.
That's a hard one, because every time I bet against DDP, he shut my mouth. So it's hard, but he's facing Khamzat. You know, Khamzat is very hard in the first or second round, so I think he can get it done real fast. But all the way, if not done real fast, I think Dricus, you're gonna make him have a hard night. So I'll go Khamzat. Maybe Dricus will shut my mouth again, but I'll go Khamzat.
Coach John Wood voiced strong belief in Dricus Du Plessis, expecting a competitive and high-paced fight. He pointed to Du Plessis' unorthodox style, raw strength and natural power as major weapons, and dismissed past concerns about his gas tank. Wood predicted that Du Plessis would survive Chimaev's early push before turning the tide later, potentially earning a stoppage.
Again, kind of like the Pena-Harrison fight, I'm going to go with Dricus on this one. I'm going to go with Dricus in a gritty, dirty, nasty fight. He's going to have a rough couple rounds, but I think he's going to stick around. I don't think he's an easy guy to finish. It's an awkward style. He's strong. He's big. You know, cardio issues I don't think are a thing anymore. I think that he is going to get deep into that fight, and I think he finishes him.
Mateusz Gamrot called the matchup an intriguing meeting of different skill sets, praising Chimaev's grappling and physicality, while showing respect for Du Plessis. Despite his admiration for both, Gamrot doubted Du Plessis' ability to neutralize Chimaev's wrestling, and ultimately gave a slight edge to Chimaev to get the win.
Oh, this is interesting matchup. Chimaev is really high-level wrestler and he's strong. I like Dricus. He meet a couple times. It's hard to prediction, but I don't think so that Dricus will stop wrestling Chimaev. And I think maybe Chimaev will beat this guy.
Yoel Romero stressed the role wrestling will play in the early stages, acknowledging Khamzat Chimaev's strength on the ground. He noted Dricus Du Plessis' toughness as a potential game changer, believing that if Du Plessis withstands the initial takedown assault, the momentum could shift. Romero framed the fight as a battle of will, predicting that the one with a greater heart will come out victorious.
1640. Khamzat.
You have what? Sorry, who do you think? 60 Dricus?
16% for Chimaev and 40% for Du Plessis. Yeah, that's a way.
So you think Chimaev? You're kind of slightly leaning towards Chimaev.
Yes.
Why? Why do you think?
Wrestling. They're wrestling. The wrestling for Chimaev right now is very, very dangerous. Yes.
That's it for today's video, so what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about their upcoming fight? Would love to hear your thoughts on their upcoming clash, so share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other videos on the screen right now.